I don't have a particular reading tonight. I just wanted to kind of sit and talk with you. We just had a wonderful monastic reading session. We do it every night at 9 o'clock, and it's just gotten so nice to spend time with the other brothers and just talk about spiritual life and about experiences that are going on and things that are happening. And it just put me in the mood to feel like I wanted to come and, in a way, try and share that with you in a sense of being able to just kind of sit and share. And this week in my practices, I kind of tend to view my practice a lot as a laboratory, an experimental place to really poke around and try and find this reality that the sages talk about. And to take these concepts, when I read in the mornings, like that poem of the Supreme that I shared yesterday, I think it was. I read that in the morning over a cup of coffee, probably 4 or 5 times, just reading through it. I would read just one sentence, and I would just challenge myself to think of different implications of that one sentence. Like, what does this mean beyond just what it says? Like, how does it actually affect the other things I know about God, or know about religion, or about spiritual life, or about my own experiences within in regards to spiritual life? To try and just take that deeper and deeper and deeper, so that I don't just read the scriptures and absorb the obvious, but that these truths, they form a web of understanding in the mind because they're well contemplated, well thought about. And the one that I've been playing with the last couple of days is this notion of a word and the thing the word represents being actually inseparable, that you can't say carrot without the mind presenting you with carrot. And so that's part of the science behind the mantra, the name of God that you repeat over and over, in the sense that you can't say the name of the beloved without the concept of the beloved forming in the mind. And because the beloved is an infinite concept and much more, that grows every time you say it. The mind expands a little bit each time as it tries to understand or tries to allow the manifestation of the meaning of that word. And so I was playing with that some more and thinking, okay, well, as I repeat the name of God in the mind, I try and just allow that image to form, right, of this divine. Well, it occurred to me just yesterday that the image of this divine and the hearer of the mantra are the same. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means what it says. When the meditator is sitting there repeating the name of God in the mind, there is a seer, right? We talk about this all the time in the Vedanta. There's a seer that's watching the mind. Now, normally we have that seer associated with body and mind, or identified with body and mind, and so it's actually ego. And so we think the ego is the seer. But the ego is a construct. There is the seer behind the ego, separate and apart from it, pure, not limited by the ego. And so I've been just experimenting for fun with this notion of, while I'm repeating this name of God or repeating the mantra, to try and become aware, not just of the mantra, which is where I've put most of my attention. My attention has mostly been on the mantra and the concept behind the mantra, the divinity of God that it manifests or that it indicates. And so normally I'm watching the mantra and trying to focus on the mantra. And just yesterday I started playing with that notion a little bit and trying to simultaneously become aware of the seer before ego, not me as the repeater, me as the body-mind that's doing a practice, but to try and go even a little bit more subtle than that, and to become aware of the seer that is watching not only me, the ego, but also hearing the word and being indicated by the word. And setting a fire to that reality that God is not the third party that's distant and away, but he's the seer of my own seeing, that he's the hearer of my own hearing, and how intimate that became as I spoke that name in my meditation and had that idea or that notion simultaneously with me, that the actuator of everything about my experience as an individual self is being indicated by this name, by this repeating word, and it encapsulates me, the ego. It surrounds me. It's bigger. It's the bigger part of the I. It's the unlimited part of the I, the free part of the I. And it just brought such a wonderful dimension to that time with the beloved. And it seemed to really set fire to an inner reality that was quite lovely. And so I wanted to share with you, just as a means of passing on an experiment, or something to think about, or something to become aware of, or to try and expand your mind to see the implications of the name as you repeat it in the mind, to know that it's your own true self that you're calling out, your own intimate self, more intimate to you than the ego is, more immediate to you than your own throat, the scriptures say. And so to become aware of the beauty of that intimacy and closeness of the divine, whose nature is love, that is within you as you speak the name. So just a little something to play with, to flirt with the divine with, to tempt the presence, to reveal himself, herself, that self to you. And just an experiment for drawing close to God and knowing the light of life.